It's time to welcome Oleg Shlykov, Strategic Partner Manager, Business Messaging at Meta, with his talk, What's Up, the Biggest Untapped Opportunity. So I'm adding Oleg to the live. Oleg, hi,
Hi everyone.
welcome.
Can you hear me? Can you
How are
hear
you
me?
feeling? Ready to?
Very good. Uh,
Yes.
you can hear me, right? The connection is good.
Yeah, everything is
Okay,
okay.
perfect.
Everything is
Doing
great.
well. I'm very excited to be here. Olena, thank you so much for the introduction. And I guess you covered a lot of my high-level topics about WhatsApp and why it's an untapped opportunity. I want to just make very quickly introduction of myself and then just structure a little bit how we are going to do it today. I'm Oleg. I'm part of the business messaging partnerships team. Basically, we work all with partners like SendPulse and other, and we work with Meta APIs and Meta Business Messaging platform. We have three. It's obviously WhatsApp, but we also have Instagram Direct and Messenger. These are the three platforms that our team is covering. I am based in Warsaw. I've been living here for the past 6 years. And yeah, I actually very excited to share with you what's new to come on WhatsApp and how we see adoption actually happening globally. But in any case, I would like to also get some local specifics of Central Eastern Europe or EMEA market in specific. So if you have any questions, please drop them in the comments. I'll try to leave 10 to 15 minutes to address as much questions as I can at the end of the meetings, and some of them we're going to follow up. This presentation is going to be shared with you after this webinar. And with that, let me just start screen sharing. Okay, I hope you can see my screen. Yes? Can someone write in the chat if you can see my screen? It's a new platform for me. I haven't been using it a lot, but I see the wallpaper. So I hope everything is good. So why WhatsApp? Why it's one of the biggest untapped opportunity? Basically, as Olena already mentioned, today you're most likely using WhatsApp in terms of like the private communication, and in Europe, and specifically, it's considered as a really private estate channel. You're using it to communicate with your friends, with your loved ones, but when it comes to business communication with the end user, it's not usually used in the full potential of the tool. Either the business is using it in a fragmented way where they do just a part of the user journey on WhatsApp, either the business is not using it at all, either they have some privacy concern, etc. And I want to miss bust a little bit today. I'm also I want to make it engaging. So if you feel that I'm not right and you have your own different experience, I would like to discuss it at the end of this presentation. But basically, we are going to talk today why every business should be on WhatsApp. And I can give you my personal story. I am actually living in Poland for past 6 years. My mom is separated from me. She's based in Spain for the past 20 years. Last 6 years, every year, I actually need to order her flowers for her birthday. What I do, I actually go to WhatsApp to the local flower shop. I type them a message and I ask them, what are the bouquet that you have available today? And they send me the catalog. I click on the catalog I like. They send me the PayPal link. And ironically enough, it's not even an automated flow, right? They're not using any platform like SendPulse. They're not using any API automation. It's just like the way that she works on her phone. And that's the beauty, because actually she gets order. I am very satisfied with the customer service because she replies me instantly. She gives me some nice tips. All the links are in one place. And I always know that if I want to buy this particular for my mom or someone else in this particular city flowers, I just go there and buy it. And this is actually also makes you think about, if you're a business owner, this is a very good repeatable tool where you can engage and re-engage users. So it's also a very interesting time where personalization is actually changing, right? And if we were talking about the personalization and the way to how to hyper personalize, over personalize the experience to be as much connected personally to the user when you're a business, you need to play on emotional content nowadays a lot. We know what's going on in the world. We need to stay connected to close. And if you think about what is a AI is doing today, it will completely disrupt the way we communicate. It will completely disrupt the way we interact with the users and when business. It will be the era where agents are talking to each other, where the human is actually just sitting and observing as operator. And I don't know about you, but I'm using AI tools day to day. I build automations, I build scripts, and basically a lot of like operational tasks, let's say support task, email replies, common questions is already automated. And our CEO, Mark Zuckerberg, is also thinking in the future that everyone is having AI. And why WhatsApp is critical here and why it's important. You need AI to be communicating somewhere. And WhatsApp is actually one of the biggest platforms in the world. I'm getting to the numbers a bit later, but we have actually reached, I think, 2 billion users already on our platform. It's growing every day, and around 600 million messages every day is sent from business to the user. So the number is massive. And there is one interesting paradox. We recently done a research of Forrester. You can find it actually live already. We've done it together for WhatsApp and Forrester. And what we found out is actually 80% of the companies think that they have top-notch service, that they're really the best, that their clients are happy, their satisfaction survey are all good, their that metrics are showing really good, nice, and they're really giving their users personalized experience that they expect. In reality, when we survey the same users, only 8% tell us that this is true. And 72% or 92% of this 80% of the users actually think that your service is not good. I'm waiting too much to get any response. And this is actually an illustrative of what is reality. 78% of people in total feel frustrated when dealing with customer support. They feel frustrated because they wait. They ask a question that should be automated and it should be instantly answered, but the average waiting time is up to 35 minutes. This was done on a cohort of like different types of businesses in different countries. So this is just an average situation and the current state of where we are. And why it's happening? There is multiple reasons, but this I really like to mention it on and on. There is omni-channel when it's good, and then there is omni-channel that is fragmented and disconnected. And this slide is actually shows that this environment is not keeping with times. We are living in an era where everything should be locked in one app, where is the era of super apps, where you want to actually be on one app without actually browsing from one platform to another. And what is in reality is happening that you discover some product on the surfaces of internet. Let's say not, now it's mostly AI outputs for the search in Google. But in past, if you have an intent to buy something specifically in a specific city of specific color of a specific size, you just type it because you want a price comparison. You want to get the best deal, most likely, or you want to find the closest shop who sells this particular item to your home. So you basically browse there, then you go to the website, and then suddenly you drop and you get like an abandoned cart reminder into your email. Then you go to actually the checkout because you got a discount and you bought it, and then you actually can't get your order because it's delayed and you are chatting on this website plugin chat that is not. This all, from my perspective and the perspective of the users, is a fragmented experience that leads you to poor conversion rates, pure user engagement, and pure lead conversion. Customers who switch to WhatsApp, and this is very important point. I want to make it sure that we're aligned here. I'm never going to pitch you because I'm owner of a business and I'm using multi-channel and I use Google Ads a lot, right? We will never tell you use WhatsApp instead of SMS. We will never tell you use WhatsApp instead of your communication channel. WhatsApp is a new tool and is a new marketing platform that should be put on top of your existing marketing and communication strategy because it empowers and gives you another way of looking at your metrics. And if you look at traditional marketing funnel that starts with discovery, goes to consideration, purchase, service, re-engage, it's always like about like specific use case and specific triggers and specific interactions with your users. So basically looking at WhatsApp and benchmarking it to over other channels on a cohort of the users that we surveyed, we overall see that WhatsApp is overperforming by the conversion rate on every stage of the funnel. It overperforms legacy channel. It has much more higher order value due to business messaging, rich messaging experience, a lot of formats, a lot of creative features, a lot of new features, a lot of new formats of messages that we add, button, blah, blah, blah. There's a lot of things, right? It's rich messaging, not a plain text. And we improve agent productivity, right? We've seen agents being much more productive on our platform versus some other channels because it's all persistent one thread. Finally, the re-engagement stage with the marketing messages or purchase service, we can really achieve significant result in customer satisfaction survey, which is a critical metric if you think about the overall customer relationship management. The ideal funnel compared to this one, I need to go here. You've seen this. This is what it looks like in most of the cases. This is, in our opinion, how it should like, where you start on one platform and you end up through the whole the journey going through the same platform, getting different types of the message and diversified experience in terms of what is the value you're getting out of the chat and out of the conversation with the chat. Here is an example of a business that is actually showing an ad on the surfaces of Facebook, and they show click to WhatsApp ad. So you can see an ad here that has a call to action: chat now with Wins and Wool shop and get your best offer, whatever. You click here and you get on WhatsApp, right? You start a conversation, you can send a carousel, you can start browsing it, and then you finally get like the client to be willing to purchase from you. And then you can actually do whatever. You can send them utility notification, which means that your order is delivered. And then the user can track all the history of the order delivered, track in one thread. Now, with that switch and our continuous investment into non-marketing and marketing messages formats, we actually make like the formats that are dynamic. So on WhatsApp now, instead of sending you 5 different messages, imagine like that, like that's actually an example on this slide. You see this like dynamic window, like similar like you could see on logistics service app, where like you have like order prepared, order delivered, etc. As long as it updates, the message goes down and it's just updates, right? So you don't get like 6 messages, you get one that is updated. The experience for the user looks much more clean and much less spammy. Users don't like to get thousands of messages. They like to get what they need now, fast, without waiting 35 minutes. And finally, you can always re-engage, retain, and send user an upsell message, a discount, promo, etc. So basically, you close the loop. The beauty of it is once the customer is discovered through our platform, and Meta has a reach of 3+ billion users on Instagram plus Facebook, so you can leverage this huge potential of Meta platforms to get your users into infinite loop of WhatsApp, where you're sold and then you re-engage and upsell and you don't pay for ads anymore because the user is low. It's exactly the situation that I showed with you. I once discovered this flower shop and passed through ads, so I don't remember how, and then I'm their WhatsApp client. Their cost of acquisition for me is close to 0 now, and this is really important to understand because they can really re-engage me with WhatsApp with quality messages. So what are the key use cases? Before I go to the use cases and how to think about like abandoned cart and all these scenarios and triggers, I want to actually explain you a little bit about the foundations. So WhatsApp is not the easiest product. WhatsApp has different types of the messages. And basically to easily understand how WhatsApp and how we monetize our WhatsApp business platform, API, and the product that you're consuming through SendPulse, for example, or if you would work with any other partner that is providing us as one of the channels inside their core SaaS or platform, right? It's user-initiated messages, meaning that's the message that me, as a customer of a shop A, sending them a message. And then there is business-initiated message, meaning I want to send a message to all the audience of this webinar right now for them to actually go and sign up with SendPulse and start using WhatsApp channel, right? This is business-initiated messages. And there is like 2 types of user-initiated messages. It's ads that click to WhatsApp. When I click on the ad, I trigger a message that is going to the business, and business can reply to this message for free for 72 hours. And service, where I'm asking, hey, where is my order? When is gonna be here, business can also reply me without charge, and they can also send me template messages using utility. And the scenario will be, where is my order? And you send me this dynamic window with my order status for free. Okay. And then there is business initiated message. Business initiated messages on WhatsApp are priced quite similar to what you do with SMS. Every outgoing message has a price depending on the market and depending on its category. It can be marketing message, which is usually engaging and like selling kind of context, utility, which is critical notifications and account and order updates, and authentication, which is usually one-time passwords. What is important to say that most of the templates will gonna be marketing always, because WhatsApp is perceived as alternative to traditional channels, and a lot of communication is actually going through marketing today. Talking about why, what are the top two objectives that you can use all these SKUs for? Basically, I think that there is multiple, but the top one are customer acquisition and customer engagement. And I want to just focus a little bit on those two, because I think that this is actually the one that is most interested for all the marketers, businesses that are using SendPulse as well. You want to acquire new clients, you want to sell them, and then you want to upsell them. Or you want to maintain good relationship with your client to potentially them to increase their LTV for you, right? So these are the things that we are going to talk a bit more in deep. And we will start with customer acquisition. Basically, for customer acquisition, I think I always want to start with their potential of meta platforms. And I already told it, like 3 billion people, quite an impressive number, almost half of this planet. And then think about these 3 billion people can be converted on one of the business messaging channels, and WhatsApp is one of them. And basically, if you look at this is one of the most scalable paid entry points to your experience that you can imagine, because the audience is really broad. You can really target super broad audience. You can target super or small audience, but the outcome is that you're sending them to WhatsApp experience, and then you try to actually engage them to the way that they stay with your experience. They don't opt out. They really continue receiving the communications from you as a business. So there is like really critical point for any click to WhatsApp ad, that it just doesn't mean that if you launch an ad, everything will actually be smooth. You click on an ad and you go to WhatsApp. And on WhatsApp, you get the experience that business created with the help of the partner, for example, like SendPulse. Imagine I'm entering to an experience where actually there is like some plain text and no one is answering me. That's a wasted money for ad. Alternatively, imagine I'm connecting there and there is an AI chatbot that is actually asking, qualifying me as a lead, and then potentially connecting me to the agent, to the live agent, to AI agent, or just gets my data and collects my number to do a callback or to send me marketing messages later. This is critical part, because the click to WhatsApp ad can't work without good experience. And this is actually fundamental two core parts. This is like the entry point, and then there is always like the conversational experience and in-thread experience that we are going to talk about a bit deeper, and how to build it, what you need to consider it, and how actually to make it valuable for your audience. And before I go to it, I want to just mention that there are like the click to WhatsApp is one of paid entry points together with marketing messages, but there are also a lot of organic entry points. Think about if you're e-commerce, every checkout is your opportunity to get an opt-in for WhatsApp and then re-engage the user, or offer them a discount coupon on the checkout if they subscribe to your WhatsApp, and then you send them a marketing messages with a 15% discount for your next order that is valid for 1 month. Or you can play around with how unique and how valuable this offer can be for your client. Think about there are just a link from like your Instagram page. Think about the QR code if you have a physical location. Think about their banners. Think about like anything that you can imagine that can actually trigger me to click or to scan the QR code or to click on a link. using my broad, you can get me into the WhatsApp and then re-engage me with the type of the messages that I already shared about. This is really the power of WhatsApp, because once you are locked in the thread, like this is like really, it's all up to you, and it's all up to the experience that you build, and it's all up to not overwhelm the user, but getting them interested in actually moving down the funnel from awareness and discovery and awareness to actually purchase and then re-engagement. The second entry point that I want to focus, and one of the biggest types of the messages, and I'm sure whoever used WhatsApp through SendPulse probably already launched marketing messages, it's actually the message that you're sending to re-engage, scale, upsell, sell, etc. Think about abandoned cart scenarios, back in stock notification, think about exclusive launches, think about exclusive offers, etc. There is like multiple scenarios for you to get like this message actually triggered and for the business to engage with it. This is like one of the largest SKUs mean like the product that WhatsApp is offering today, and businesses have been using it for years. So I really encourage you to start trying it overall with platforms like SendPulse. It's quite easy to get started because it's all kind of self-service platform where you can just create a template, add a parameter or your products, and try it out. So how could your strategy look like? Like, let's just use a couple of examples and like the real life like business examples, how it will look like. You start with the ad, you go to consideration, then you send re-engagement, the purchase, per purchase, it's all powered, right? We discussed it already. But how actually you do customer engagement after the user in need? There is like three types of messages: utility, authentication, and service. Utility messages are really playing really well together with marketing, because when I'm got bombarded on my phone on SMS, I just today in the morning I cleaned up 50 unread SMS because I know that they're all marketing and I don't care about them because they just send me plain text. On the other hand, I have like two channels on WhatsApp that send me actually sometimes offers, but usually it's more about my updates, my banking account statement, etc. I get a lot of value out of knowing how much balance I get left because I don't need to log into my bank app all the time. I also get a lot of value out of these notifications and some promotions for some businesses, right? So I'm like really locking them here. And I'm really, as a user, and we've seen it across the board, there is much better adoption of the and feedback about the experience on the business messaging chat, where you mix marketing with utility messages. Think about like loyalty. You are not just selling, but you are also, after you purchase, sending a notification. Hey, now you have extra 80 bonus points. These 80 bonus points can be spent next time when you shop with us. And then you send, by the way, today we have a new collection launch, and don't forget that you also have your loyalty points. You see how the experience is actually playing together more smoothly rather than being very disconnected from each other. Authentication, I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it, but basically it's a new alternative channel. If you're verifying your user by them sending them a one-time password over email on WhatsApp or SMS, you can now do it on WhatsApp. We have all these features like zero tap, one click notifications, where actually we pre-fill the number, so it works as smooth as other channel. And why users select WhatsApp? Because WhatsApp has better deliverability in many regions versus SMS, where the MNOs or telco networks are not that stable. Another reason is WhatsApp never charged for the message that was not delivered, right? If the message was not delivered, it's not going to be charged. SMS, whatever you send, it's charged immediately. So basically, here is another value that businesses like. Only delivered message going to be charged. Finally, the service message, I'm not going to talk a lot about this, but basically this is service back and forth conversation where you have like a product dispute or you want to get some information from the business and asking them over chat. I talked about authentication and utility, but basically these are like the practical use cases, so you get a better visibility on the whole scope of WhatsApp and not just the marketing part. Account recovery, creation, new existing order transaction, every time where you need to verify and validate your user, you need to, you can run the OTP message. I don't know what happened to my screen. but I hope it's gonna be back. It's back now. Cool. And then utility. Utility, think about is anything that is time sensitive, right? Order management, payment alerts, or let's say tuition fees, or like electricity bills. That's something that you can really think about. I'm actually getting them on paper. Potentially, I could get a PDF and just pay it with one click because WhatsApp has buttons. This is also what is actually a very simple thing and very obvious. But believe me, if you look globally, even like the most advanced countries really like these paper letters still. I don't know why. And whenever you introduce WhatsApp, they actually, it's 20 times cheaper for us to do this actually over PDF. And oh, by the way, we have better conversion rate to payment. So we want actually to do this over this way because it's like really increase the conversion rate because the experience is just smoother rather than you need to go to the post office, fill this QR code and pay it, or go to some bank to scan it. You just click a button and you pay it with your Apple Pay or whatever. This is seamless experience, users value it. Service conversation, it's actually everything that is support related topics, but also the beauty of WhatsApp that we don't limit our cool features like buttons, creative formats, etc., just for paid formats. You will always able to do it even for free conversation. And you can also send utility templates for free during the service conversation. That is another additional value of WhatsApp because SMS will never allow to do this for free for you. And this is just one of the channels that is really very, very common. Yeah, I can benchmark it towards other channel, and you can also go to our public resources and see how WhatsApp is comparable in the features, the pricing versus the other platforms that you're probably currently using. How to build it? We call this concept the business messaging journeys. And I will be very transparent. Meta is a company that works with really, really large brands, like the largest brands in the world. So we've seen a lot of successful things in enterprise world, and where actually they're usually build the first, and then SMB platforms just copy it. I really like the example. Before Meta, I was actually a Meta partner. I was head of business development in one quite big e-commerce platform, a Shopify competitor. Basically, if I think like 15 years ago, we were building like this websites with like huge amount of code developers. I needed to have a designer. I needed to have a Magento developer, and all this looked like scary and like expensive. And the same for business messaging. The first one who started to do this were like Infobip, Filio, big guys of the world, and they will send you a big bill, like with many, many zeros, after they complete this journey. And now think about what Shopify did to the market, and think about what SendPulse and other platforms are doing to the markets. Shopify learned that all this stuff is unnecessary, and we can do like drag and drop website builder. Just connect all the payment gateways, all the shipping payments with one click from the App Store, and you keep running. It costs you like $20 per month, not 20,000 to build the website. Looks quite similar, by the way, sometimes even better. And the loading speed can be better as well. Same happened with business messaging. Right now, something that was not possible 5 years ago can be done with one click through the platforms like SendPulse and other. Think about that building this messaging journey can sound scary, but in reality, you have pre-built frameworks that you just click and launch. And I'm sure that guys from SendPulse are ready to help you with this. So what is this? Business messaging journey is actually the experience that you are exposed as a user when you talk to the business, and the experience that makes you to deliver the certain outcome that called business outcome. The business outcome is always defined by the business. For example, I, as a e-commerce business, can set up a business outcome purchase. Then what I need to do, I need to build my journey, and it's like the website building, same, right? You need to deliver the experience that will lead to the purchase, right? That's all you need to do. You need to focus on this. And then talking about the business outcomes, you can have much more, like it's like resolution for support, customer onboarding, order fulfillment, cost reduction, customer retention, etc. Think about this when you build your first journey on WhatsApp. What is actually the outcome, and what are like the steps that user needs to take to actually click on your CTA and get your proposition. And the messaging journey always consists of three parts. Entry point, which I talked about, can be paid entry point, like marketing message or click to WhatsApp. It can be organic entry point, like QR code or link on the checkout. In-thread experience is what I'm as a user exposed to when I click on entry point. I go to the chat with the AI agent. AI agent knows my size, knows my preference on the color, gives me a carousel with suggested products, and actually the conversion point, I actually click buy, or I click, okay, I want to schedule something. This is how it works. A messaging journey starts always when the user is joining the conversation. So the things you need to focus is like how you get the users into WhatsApp and what are the experience and the set of templates you are using for user to be convert and to get to your conversion point. This is an example of e-commerce experience that is built with using various products of WhatsApp. The messaging journey here is the abandoned cart trigger, right? After when the user leave their cart, then actually if it's opted in, we can send them a follow-up message with the cart. AI chatbot leverage mixed media formats, answering product questions, sizing, blah blah blah, and provides on-site checkout. What is important here? It's end-to-end, right? And if you look at the scenarios like abandoned cart on WhatsApp, they have tremendous success versus any other channel because you are like super personalized and it's really in a matter of clicks. I personally don't see a lot of abandoned cart examples still in EU, but in the countries where WhatsApp is predominantly like the largest platforms like Brazil, for example, and India, this is by default the way to go for any e-commerce of any size, small and big. Abandoned cart with marketing messages actually triggering this conversation and then the chatbot catching up with carousel is something that we've seen a lot of success stories with for big and small businesses. And then if you look at this e-commerce journey, it covers the full kind of, we call it customer life cycle, starting from awareness, ending with re-engagement. And actually you can think about the conversion point for your journey for every stage of the funnel. For example, for awareness, it can be our recommendation of free products, right? For discovery, it can be, for example, you know that actually we had additional brands in our portfolio that you can know about, so you get familiarized. Consideration is where you actually get user exposed to specific products that they want to buy. Purchasing when they buy, and then of course the first purchase and re-engagement. Post-purchase is actually the conversion point will be you doing a customer satisfaction survey and getting the request of your service. And then you follow up with re-engagement marketing message where you say, thank you so much for filling in your customer satisfaction survey. We really appreciate that you rated our business high. And for this, we are giving you a 15% promotion for your next purchase, which is valid for the next 60 days. You give a very precise message with the timeline, the action call to action for your customer that can really go and just get back to you without you reminding them. And you can, of course, send another marketing message to them. How you can collect opt-ins, because I got a lot of speech already about the marketing messages. One thing to mention, and I should probably start with it, no opt-in, no marketing messages. So basically, we allow to send their WhatsApp users only WhatsApp message, marketing message to only opted-in user. That means that before sending the marketing messages, you need to collect their phone number base. Why? Because we care mostly about users, not the businesses and anyone else. Our platform, our meta vision is building for users. And when you build for users, you can really monetize it. So basically, whenever user will click like the dots on top of the right screen, they can report you, block you, and whatever, and then it can really negatively impact your business. So always think about how you collect opt-ins. There is multiple ways. I'm going to share these slides and the best practices. Also, always comply with the local regulator and meta policy. Meta policy is quite soft right now. We don't even ask for explicit mention of WhatsApp when you collect phone numbers to send marketing communications, so you can do general opt-in. But sometimes, for example, in Poland, the government and the regulator will come to you and say, actually, we want you to explicitly say that it's on WhatsApp. And there can be multiple reasons. In that case, you as a business need to comply with the boss. And finally, I want to talk a bit about how the good experience could look like. We have this team that is called Creative Shop. Basically, it's a team that does creative for the clients, for their engaging creatives that convert. How we measure it? We just like connect the metadata to the creatives and we measure what performs better. It's all based on the data. Basically, every assumptions that I'm talking today, they're backdated, and you can see in the slides the links, etc. So you're gonna be leaded to proof points and see. And I think that in like most of the cases, if you look like in like how WhatsApp marketing was founded, it came from SMS, and SMS is usually plain text. So a lot of businesses like Temu, Shein, and like these Chinese e-commerce giants, for example, they would like to send you just a pushy sales spammy text, which is not performing. And we've seen it with ads, and now we can see it more and more clearly with WhatsApp. That you need to invest in creativity and you need to invest in the message and the call to action, right? It's really critical for you to assess this from like the creative standpoint as well. And what we see is actually 75% of online adults say that they want to be able to communicate with the business that they actually the same way as they communicate where their family friends. And it's not only they want to have this cultural connection, it's really a cultural aspect right now. You really want to, you probably follow this brand on Instagram, you probably share the same values with the brand, you probably really follow the owner of this small brand. I don't know, she's sewing or he's like baking something. You are really connected. And then like when you actually even talk to him, even if it's AI, it makes your connection and personalization next level. And it can happen on Instagram and of course on WhatsApp as well. When you do WhatsApp and you send over all the marketing communication, you first need to think about how you introduce yourself. You really show who you are, and it should be a very crisp message. The connection matters, and it's really important when someone who you talk to listens to you and not searching for the three buttons to block you. With business messaging and WhatsApp and interactive like communication with all these formats, you can create this experience now. Finally, you need to keep the chat active, right? And it should be in a way that it's two-way communication first, and secondary, if you remind the user about your business and your offer, you should get some reaction. It's really important to maintain these three basic rules. I know they sound very naive, but believe me, most of the brands, big and small, just don't follow it, and they just copy paste what they've done on email and WhatsApp, and they come to us like, why doesn't it work? So like, your experience doesn't look like really good and based on like our recommendation. So potentially you should tune it a little bit, right? Think about this all the time when you're creating in WhatsApp. And finally, how to do it, right? If you look like here, we have some comparisons about how it could be done. It's going from like very static and like gray or like image or from some photo stock with not a clear CTA to more personalized thing where you like really message the user about yourself, you show yourself, you do it very clear. Here you can clearly see that once you click it WhatsApp, here's just this button, chat with us. Here you know that it's already kind of preparing you for the experience that you're not going to get. You're not going to go to the website. You're not going to go to the landing page. You're going to go to WhatsApp thread. Not all the users are ready for it. And leverage the motivations for users to chat. Of course, creators is everything right now. Micro creators, these tiny creators, very niche creators is something that you want to leverage. We've done a use case with a big brand, but it can be applied to small. We had our Chinese creator with Dior. She was actually generating user-generated content. She was working with it. And when you get like the user-generated content, then you get like some emojis with her face. And then these emojis can be exchanged in one of their big chains. I think in Hong Kong, they were able to exchange it for some discount. So as much of the emojis you generate, as much discount you get for your products. This is the way like that people really like because it's gamification of the marketing. Show the value, show how to. Tease the conversation, use reels, show your offer and CTA super clearly and crisp. Make sure that the CTA is very clear, that it's not going to be a website, it's going to be a chat. And finally, leverage the seasonal cultural moments. It's really important. For example, when you have like the holiday season, the Black Friday moment, you start warming up your users in advance by leveraging all the best practices with creators. And finally, show products, give this a bit like of the touch and like, you can really, if you use CDP or CRM, you know what your users like. you can really suggest them very specific products of a very specific color. And personalization is a key. I was talking a lot about it. I think that the final thoughts is like, to not get burnt on WhatsApp really quickly, you need to make your messages expected, relevant, and very timely. You need to always think about where you don't send the message and when you actually send the message. I think that where you don't send the message time is really much more important versus where you send, because you need to know where your users are actually interacting with your content and where they want to read the messages versus where they want to focus on spending time with their kids and family, right? And finally, be very clear who you are. Be sure that when you talk to the user and it's AI, make sure that you highlight that it's AI. Make sure that if you have a business that is consultative sales, you need to have agents and CRM agents to be able to connect it through the buttons, and also leverage this, like conversation routing from automated to agent channels smartly, so users understand who they are talking to and what they should expect. And finally, I want to share you like the use case that we've done with the company called PetLove. The company PetLove, they really leveraged the Reels, where they actually were using the click to WhatsApp ads, and they built this Reel first campaign. They used a lot of tools like AI marketing messages, chatbots in the thread, and actually it showed amazing results. They've seen 60% reduction in acquisition cost versus the traditional business as usual without WhatsApp acquisition strategy, and they had 135% conversion rate uplift, which is also a very significant number given the customer acquisition cost goes down more than 50%. Uh, Elevate utility messages, but I spoke quite a lot of this, and I know that we have just 9 minutes left. I've seen some questions, and I want to actually open up my presentation for questions. I'll stop sharing my screen now. And I can go through the questions that I can see. Olena, if you can help me moderate a little bit.
Firstly, I want to say thank you for so much for this session. That was really insightful, especially like how you showed the practical side of using WhatsApp for businesses, not just the theory. I'm sure that many of our participants are now looking at this channel a bit differently and already thinking about how they can apply these ideas in their own work. Am I right, guys? And we can get to the questions. I can see a couple of questions in the chat. The first is, how can WhatsApp be effectively used for high-ticket services, real estate niche, for instance? What do you think? Any ideas?
Look, basically, real estate is one of the like really growing verticals for us. We see in Meta big, and like I can talk about big retail real estate, big real estate and small real estate. Real estate is like if you sell a flat and if you rent a flat, right? It's not happening over like click. It's usually a long-lasting buying cycle, even renting a flat, right? It's not like something you need to check, you need to contact, you need to back and forth. Think about the lead generation. It's usually start from lead generation, and it's usually start from you actually taking and getting a phone from the user and getting the user to know about your proposition. If you are like selling flats, for example, like basically our top use case on WhatsApp is actually click to WhatsApp lead generation right now, because you show an ad, for example, hey, you can buy this amazing villa on Sri Lanka, for example, for $100,000. Chat with us now to get the best proposition, right? The same thing, I wouldn't say that it's real estate specific. It's any high consideration commerce goods. Car. You want to purchase a car. What you want to do first? You want to go to see the car. Same with the real estate. I will not buy a flat or rent a flat that I haven't seen. appointment booking, and engaging the user to actually come to visit the flat through WhatsApp, and starting the conversation through discovery on click to WhatsApp, and then sending them your appointment is confirmed, this is the location. Think about it this way and apply the practices and the types of messages that I just showed you. But this is a really good example, and thank you for this question, because this is exactly the vertical that can really benefit versus some traditional communication channel from channels like WhatsApp and other rich media platforms, obviously.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you for the question too. And another question here: when handling a high volume of messages, what's the way to scale WhatsApp conversation without making them feel automated?
Make them feel personal.
A bit.
No, it's a simple answer, but it's not simple to do it. You need to leverage the data. You need to leverage their CRM audiences and make sure that you know your user. You can't send every user the same marketing messages. Oleg and Olena completely thinking about different things at this point of time. You need to send them different types of the messages, and you need to know this data. If you don't know this data, my recommendation is leverage the CDP or the CRM platform to collect audiences, to start segmenting the audiences, and to understand what this audience specifically cares about. Also, if you're using like the CDP or CRM platform, for example, you have the history of the communication. You can set up triggers, etc., that are super relevant for the user at a specific time. I don't think that I have a better answer, to be honest, how to do this experience smooth unless you do it personalized. And the way personalization is to know the users and to understand the data, the when you send the message, why you send the message, and if this user will block you or no. So you can also see if this the user even like should talk to you over WhatsApp or any other channel.
Thank you. And one more question from Olga. Which time will be needed for understanding the results of communication? For B2B, it's longer, so which metrics will be critical?
So for B2B, I think there's like multiple B2Bs. We can use the SendPulse example, right? It's B2B, B2B SaaS. So think about like, it's not always the purchase. And I will give you an example. So SendPulse today has an onboarding flow, and you get a free trial, right, over these 14 days. When you get to the trial over these 14 days, you would get certain onboarding communication, best tips, practices for you to actually start using and adjusting to the platform. I can give you many, many more examples, but basically businesses that really capture the leads, they can elevate this traditional communication with the onboarding, let's say lead preheating, right? You have preheating lead. Lead is unqualified, lead is qualified, lead is hot, they bought. All this can be done through the communication. I think you can't break it down into one simple metric that you want to measure, right? Because for B2B, for example, you have a lead that is not interested, and then you make it interested. For example, the lead that started a trial, and then after trial, they paid for the trial. This is something that you can measure and you can attribute to the channel of the onboarding, because you know that, for example, if I send client A communication over WhatsApp, client B, cohort A, cohort B, I sent email, cohort C, I sent SMS, you can benchmark what works better for you. It's always about setting up the proper measurement. Another thing would be like, you can't measure only purchase and sales part, right? You can measure re-engagement part, right? Think about like you really do the customer satisfaction service over WhatsApp, where you send them an engaging chatbot that is not taking them a lot of time to rank your service, like you do after you talk to a consultant in a bank, but you do it seamlessly on WhatsApp. These are the metrics that you can think, and always try to apply this flywheel that I shared before. You have the life cycle, and you have conversion points on each point of this life cycle. For each of the conversion point, you can set up your own measurement and get to this metric smoothly. Which red flags? I can see another question from Olga. If you don't mind, Olena, I'll take it and read it. Would you advise which main red flags in communication or where to find them? Yes, the red flag is actually, I'll get a bit technical now, sorry. So Meta actually assess the quality of the experience based on user signals. And user can send you signals as signals very easily. We have actually 3 buttons and they can block you. That's it, right? We see this. And when you get this, for example, increasing blocks, you get starting to get alerts. So basically we send the webhook to the partner or like directly to the client. And usually you should monitor these alerts, because when we start getting these alerts and you see increased amount of people reporting of you, you should stop sending the message immediately and rethink your communication strategy. The basic error could be the message is not expected overall if you're sending marketing. Think about it. You didn't do opt-in, so you did opt-ins 1 year ago for phone number, and now you start engaging this phone base. Suddenly, I get a message from the business that I don't even remember for my first reaction. I don't want this message. I will block you. As soon as you start getting these signals from your partner directly from WhatsApp platform, you need to stop, rethink, and monitor the exactly reasoning, because we provide the error code and you can identify why your users, why your clients are reporting your message and reshift it. Another thing is just don't forget about opt-out. When you send opt-in and you send the marketing messages, our best recommendation is to have clearly stated, if you don't want to receive these messages anymore, type stop, click the button, whatever. There is like multiple ways to control the quality of the thread. I hope it answered your message.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you, Olga, for the question. And as I see, we just can thank you to the audience. Thank you to you, Oleg. Maybe you can leave us with some wrapping up thoughts. I can see one more question in the chat.
Let's do it.
And
That's a good one.
okay, let's answer the question.
So if you have 7 clinics, you potentially have 7 phone numbers. That's kind of already an answer to you, how you manage it. You can potentially use some CRM. I haven't been using SendPulse for 6 years now. And when I was using SendPulse last time, I was using it for email marketing. It was great, by the way. I love your platform. You should have 7 phone numbers. You potentially should use some CRM and basically manage the conversation between agents of each clinic, right? If you have one central number for sending the marketing messages, it should be separated from the 7 agents, right? Because it makes a bit hard. Another product that we now launched, and I know that we haven't discussed it, but I want to maybe mention it, and because SendPulse has it, it's coexistence. You know that there is an SMB app, there is a WhatsApp business app. Think about your agents can actually be on their phones on these 7 clinics, but then through the coexistence, they're all connected to the VABA, and the VABA is managing, for example, more like a CRM connection and routing the conversation. So that actually simplifies the way you orchestrate the communication between 7 clinics. But believe me, we now have like clinics where we have like 150 chains in Brazil and more, and they're actively using WhatsApp actually without any issues. Usually it's 150 numbers, unfortunately, and there is like certain other limitation that is coming with this number, but for 7 it should be smooth and easy because we allow up to 20 phone numbers under one VABA.
Thank you. One more question here. Maybe you can add. Is it possible to do it with this WCAG 2.2 guidelines for people with disabilities?
Anna, I'm unfortunately don't know what are our in-app solutions right now. I know that there is a team working on it. I will come back through SendPulse probably with this. What I know for sure is there is a lot of third-party partners who are actually providing it on top of it, like filters, etc. But generally, for now, I unfortunately don't have an answer for you. I will follow up with the SendPulse team. But we definitely acknowledge this as it now it's done through partners.
Okay, thank you so much. So I can see other questions in the chat and we are out of the timing. Thank you so much, Oleg, for joining us today, and we can let you go now. Thank you.
Thank you for having me and talk soon. Thank you guys. Bye.